Hello internet friends, my name is Rich. Thank you so much for visiting my YouTube channel. This is going to be my very special 100 subscriber video. I want to thank each and every one of my subscribers. I hope you are deriving some sort of enjoyment from my videos, even if it is ironically. So what I want to do is a video collection tour of one of my all-time favorite modern action figure lines, and that is Mattel's DC Universe Classics. So without further ado, let's start at the very tippy top shelf with my classic Justice League of America display. This is basically what's known as the satellite era of the Justice League. It's when they had the they hung out in a satellite, making sure everybody was safe and sound. Very cool. A lot of their best figures, I think, are on this shelf. Zatanna and Black Canary, Mattel made a big deal because they had real fishnet stockings. However, it made the figures lack hip articulation, and I never really understood why they did that. I rarely get excited about fishnet stockings, at least not in 1/12 scale. So there you go, your classic Justice League display. And then over here, we have my Justice Society display. This consists of Golden Age and sort of more modern Justice Society members. I wish we'd gotten more Golden Age characters, but we didn't. You'll see Stargirl. She took a jump off this shelf and her head popped off, so I do need to replace her or try to fix it. So there's Justice Society. Also, Uncle Sam, some people might argue, wasn't really in the Justice Society. He was in the All-Star Squadron, so that's close enough. Then we'll go down, and here we have the Marvel family. A lot of people don't like that Mary Marvel, but I don't mind it. I think she looks very wholesome. And then we get into Doom Patrol. Very cool. You see I have Beast Boy. Beast Boy sort of leads in from Doom Patrol into New Teen Titans. And there you see Robin, and he kind of leads into this mini 70s Batman display. And over here, we have a Golden Age Batman display. That Batman and Joker and the Batmite as well came from sort of a spin-off line from DC Universe Classics. It was kind of a Batman Classics line. I forget the exact name from it, but for all intents and purposes, they are part of DC Universe Classics. Then over here, we have the Metal Men, and how cool is it that we got a pretty much complete team of Metal Men. You have to be a pretty big Metal Men fan to not consider this, for all intents and purposes, the entire team. So very cool. Some of these figures, most of these figures, DC Universe Classics, some of them were part of the DC subscription service. DC Infinite Earths, I think it was called. I know some of these Metal Men were part of that as well. And here we have perhaps the crown jewel of Mattel's DC Universe figures, the Legion of Superheroes box set. So this was an entire box set. It was an exclusive it was an online exclusive to Maddie Collector. Very cool. So in one giant box set, you essentially got the core Legion of Superhero team. Starboy was actually part of the DC Infinite Earth subscription service, but I consider him more of a Legion of Superhero, so I put him there with the team. Very, very cool that we got this. And then over here we have a classic, not classic, but sort of a late 80s Green Lantern Corps. And here we also have our first lazy custom figure, where it's, I think his name is Arcus. It's a DC Direct Arcus head on a Mattel Green Lantern body, so that it fits in more with the Mattel aesthetic. And most of these figures came from a Green Lantern box set. And then we'll go down. Here are some New Gods. And that leads us into a sort of Morrison JLA / Justice League International. And what I'll do when sort of characters are known for being in a couple teams, you saw it on the shelf with Batman and New Teen Titans, I kind of have them. So we start off with New Gods, and then a couple members of New Gods were also, Justice League members. They kind of phase into here. And at at the end, we have a few more sort of modern Justice League International guys and modern Justice League figures. And we'll keep going over here. This is our first, actually it's not a full villain shelf, sorry. This is my Superpowers / Super Friends display. So these are essentially characters that were more known for being in Super Friends, like Apache Chief and Black Vulcan, Eldorado, Samurai, Wonder Twins, as well as sort of the figures that were homages to the Superpowers, the Kenner Superpowers line. So a lot of people didn't like those figures, or the Super Friends figures. I love them because I was a huge fan of Superpowers and a huge fan of the Super Friends cartoon. So basically these are and it's also a very classic looking DC shelf. So I really dig it. So yeah, it's kind of a classic DC shelf / Super Friends / Superpowers. There you go. And let's go down again. This is my first all villain shelf. So this is essentially a Legion of Doom / classic villains. So in the middle, or in the front and middle, I have the Legion of Doom as they appeared in Super Friends cartoon. And then a few more classic villains. Mr. Mistleplick, I always kind of consider him a Super Friends character, because that was the first time I ever saw him was in the Super Friends cartoon. And I really hated him. So there you go. That Giganta is a fairly hard build-a-figure to put together. Alright, let's go over here, and we have our first of 2 Batman shelves. So this is kind of a Batman family in the front. And in the back, just various different versions of the Caped Crusader. And we have a couple more lazy customs here. Batwoman, that is a New 52 Batgirl body with the DC Direct head on it, which means the head is way too big. This Catwoman is a Mattel Catwoman body with the DC Direct Jim Lee Hush head. Commissioner Gordon, that is a Movie Masters Dark Knight Commissioner Gordon. And I just did a very amateurish job painting his mustache and hair. Red Hood, this is essentially the Red Hood that came in the DC Infinite Earth subscription service. And I sort of gave him a Winter Soldier head and then painted the mask, so he looks kind of like looks a little bit more like the Jason Todd figure most people wanted. That Batman is kind of a Kit Bash. He's a Mattel body with a New 52 Jim Lee Batman head from DC Direct, or DC Collectibles, I should say, and the cape is from a Batman Inc. Batman from DC Direct. And there's some more Batman family. Alfred is also a custom. He's just the Batman Hush head on a Michael Caine Michael Caine Alfred body, and the tray is from the animated series Alfred that he's holding. This Batgirl, this sort of spoiler Casey Batgirl, that is also the New 52 Batgirl body. And actually, it's the entire figure. I just gave it a paint job, gave her some blonde hair, added some purple, not comic accurate at all. And there's the rest. There's a very dusty Azrael. So again, Batman family in the front, and various versions of Batman in the back. Let's go down for some more Batman goodness. This is my Batman villain shelf. And again, it's a mix of DC Universe Classics, some early Mattel DC figures like that Killer Croc, some DC Infinite Earths are in here as well from the subscription service, and some more lazy customs. Where's my lazy custom? Yes, Talia here. That is a DC Direct Talia head, I think from one of the Arkham games, on a Movie Masters Catwoman body. Looks like Raja Ghul fell over. So yeah, Killer Croc and Mr. Freeze are from the original Mattel Batman line, which was sort of a precursor to DC Universe Classics. Black Mask was also part of the subscription service. So there you go. I have the Sinestro Corps Scarecrow here because I have the more classic Scarecrow in my Legion of Doom display, in case you were wondering. Alright, so let's now go over here to my Superman shelf. And again, this is a mix of DC Universe Classics and some early Mattel figures, as well as some of the Infinite Earth subscription figures. I think, no, maybe there are no subscription figures here. Doomsday and Mongol were part of the earlier Mattel figures that weren't quite called DC Universe Classics, but fit in very well. There's a Doomsday that was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Got the Reign of Superman up there. Another lazy custom that is a Lex Luthor head on a Movie Masters suited body. Very dusty Bizarro. That sort of Fortress of Solitude robot, I can't think of his name, that came with the DC Icon Superman. And there's the other San Diego Comic-Con Doomsday, the bound one that nobody wanted. But they gave us that one first. And here we have the Reign of the Supermen behind there. Alright, let's go down again to another villain shelf. You'll see some Suicide Squad guys there. The Crime Syndicate. One of my favorite villain teams are the Crime Syndicate, so that was also another exclusive box. So that was a Walmart exclusive box set. That Atomica actually came with a... she came with one of the DC Direct or DC Collectibles Crime Syndicate figures. But I prefer these Mattel ones. So more villains, very cool Deathstroke at the end. This is, I think, my third take doing this video. One of the reasons I've done multiple takes is that when I looked back, I realized just how dusty this shelf in particular was, so I actually vacuumed it a little bit. Okay, let's go over to our last shelf. This is kind of a miscellaneous shelf. I kind of call it my Brave and the Bold shelf. And this is just a lot of characters that I don't quite know where to put. Let me sit down here. But just the fact that we got a Vigilante figure is amazing. Question, one of my favorite characters. And there's the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Swamp Thing. I really like it, although he's almost a little bit too busy. Some Magic characters as well. Jonah Hex. How cool is it we got a Jonah Hex character. Black Lightning. I think I'm going to move him up with the Justice League. My modern Justice League. Commandy, the last boy on Earth. That's cool. So there you go. There's the Brave and the Bold miscellaneous shelf. Though I have a lot of other DC figures. I have a lot of the Multiverse 6-inch figures, Movie Masters, things like that, and I will talk about those in videos later on. Let's just take a quick peek at the Mattel Watchmen figures. This was another subscription batch of figures we got, and we'll throw these here in this video as well. So, but there you go. I will do some more videos on some other Mattel DC stuff later on, but I did just want to focus mainly on primarily DC Universe Classics. So there you go, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you also are a fan of DC Universe Classics and what Mattel has done with the DC license, comment, or if not, please comment. Also, if you don't mind, like this video if you liked it. If you didn't like it anyway, to be nice. Alright guys, there you go. Happy New Year, happy holiday, whatever you celebrate. And until next time, I very much hope I will keep seeing you.